have Curious George. There's everybody's favorite little precocious monkey. And this is his first appearance here on Terrific TV Toys. Did you know George speaks Italian? Well, just a little. Un po'. He's working on it. Curious George was created by Hans Augusto Ray and Margaret Ray, and also Alan J. Shalleck is credited for his creation. The character's first appearance was in the 1939 book Cecily G. and the Nine Monkeys, and that was in France. And he was originally named Fifi, and then Zozo, and then became George. And of course, the man with the yellow hat is his best friend. If you're familiar with the story and you see the man with the yellow hat with him in the different screen incarnations they've had, like on TV. There was a series of 5-minute short cartoons on TV in the early 1980s. They first appeared in the US on Nickelodeon, and that was 1984. And then they aired on the Disney Channel in 1989. And if you search YouTube, you can find those 5-minute short cartoons, and that's probably how a lot of people associate Curious George or remember seeing Curious George on the small screen. And there was also a new series on PBS Kids in 2006. But as I was researching this for this episode, I realized, I saw Curious George in a movie, like a film strip movie, whatever, some kind of rough movie when I was in grade school. They showed it in school, I'm pretty sure. And so there actually was a 16 millimeter film with minimal animation. It was called Curious George Rides a Bike, and that was produced in 1958. And so I think they probably aired that for years to come in schools or wherever, maybe it was on TV. If you know, comment below. But it must have been that very early 1958 film that I would have seen quite a few years later in grade school. And I remember I just loved the character. I just absolutely loved. I've always loved monkey characters. Like, I love the Planet of the Apes film series. I love King Kong. So I don't know what it is. I think, when I was a little kid, I really wanted a pet monkey like this. And it was a little bit of a thing there in the 1970s, if you remember, like if you ever watched the TV show BJ and the Bear, he took his monkey or orangutan or chimpanzee, whatever species it was, along with him in the truck in his job. And I always thought that was so cool. And I desperately, I actually I begged my mother for a while there for a pet monkey, but I did not get one. But some people had them back then. So anyways, there were also, just a note too, as far as seeing George on the screen, there were stop motion shorts, plus there have been films and a video game, so he's been the star of a lot of stuff. So what we got going on here is something that I bought in the 1990s. Mid to late 1990s, I'm pretty sure, is when I bought this new in the store. And he is by Gund. You can see his tag on his bottom, Curious George, by Gund. And then it's got the copyright, Edison, New Jersey, handmade in China, and then what he's stuffed with and how to clean him. And he's really nice and soft. He's got a little bit of stuffing you can feel in here, those little beads or balls. But he's really nice and soft and nicely detailed. I think a pretty well done incarnation, because you can find these online in lots of variations. There have been other companies that have made Curious George plush dolls like this. I saw some by Knickerbocker, by Applause, by a company called Etone. And you can look on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, and find these from $10 to $20 in that range. But I really feel like this portrait of him is nice and it's accurate to what I saw in the cartoons, in the film and all of that. There are some Curious George plush dolls, maybe some that are a little bigger than this, that, I don't know, they just don't seem to be his his facial features. You know, the head is too big, or, you know, the eyes are too far apart, or whatever it is. You know, it just doesn't look as much like George, but I really felt like this does. Sometimes in the stuffed toys, you see like a yellow shirt on him instead of the red shirt that has his name. With, interestingly, I was just noticing the registered trademark is next to Curious and not George, whereas on the tag, it's, you know, it's, I think, correctly after George, after the whole term, Curious George, because that would be the registered trademark. But yeah, he's got his hat on, even a little bit of detail on the hat up there. So he's just adorable. And I bought him brand new as an adult in the 1990s because I had loved him as a little kid. And I know that it was before 1999, because another crazy thing I will show you, and this is truly geeky crazy, is I think I was joking with somebody about this, and then I ended up doing it. I thought it'd be funny to take him on a trip. I was taking in 1999. 1999, I went to Italy. And so I tucked him in my suitcase, and I thought, I'm going to like photograph George in different spots in Italy. And it was kind of a joke that I had with a friend of mine. So I went to Italy, March 1999. It was a wonderful trip. And so I was paging through this the other day, all the great places that I saw. Let me find where the first one was. I took, like, I want to say 4 pictures. Here is the terrace of our hotel in Sorrento. And Curious George was about to enjoy breakfast. It's really hard to see this with the camera, but he's right there in the chair about to have breakfast on the terrace. Okay, yeah, it's goofy, but, you know, I've always been a geeky girl. And then let me see what the next one is. I love these photos. Oh, look at him in my hotel room. In Baverno in northern Italy, and look at those beautiful roses. Aren't those nice? So yeah, there's George in my hotel. Oh, and there he is with, I bet you didn't know that George went to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I got to take this one out because this one's good. There he is with the Leaning Tower of Pisa in the background. He is a world traveler, you know. Of course, in the cartoons and in the books, he's always getting into trouble. The man with the yellow hat has to rein him in, keep an eye on him, because he inadvertently, you know, he means well. He really means well. I guess that was the other one. Gosh, I thought there were 4. But anyways, so George is a world traveler, and of course we know he was created in France, and he's been in the UK and all different kinds of places. So go George! All right, well, thanks for taking a little trip back in time with me on yet another episode of Terrific TV Toys, and keep it tuned here to BRBTV. Okay, I found it, the 4th photo. I thought there were 4. In Venice! Did you know that George went to Venice? There he is. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.